Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This video has been a long time coming. Several things have stopped me, but without further ado, I'm going to give my thoughts on the drama community. This will be part one. It's going to be concerning Rich Lux, Luscious Massacre, and Nick Snyder. This is a very difficult video for me to make, I'll be honest, because I like everyone involved. But set aside our emotions, use logic. I have to tell the truth. And if the truth from my perspective is not something you want to hear, this may not be the place for you. So, we begin the day before Thanksgiving last week. It started with Rich Lux and Nick doing a video about James Charles's new little beauty community show, beauty competition reality show that he's going to be having on YouTube, and they were shady about like who should be the judges. There was a tweet that they put out, and it was like saying that these are the people that they could see as the judges, and like Manny Mooch was one, Laura Leach, Nikita, Gabriel, and somebody else. And that on the surface seems harmless enough, but I guess Manny MUA's dad reached his breaking point. And let me say this, people are very split on this. Some people were like, oh, it's just a harmless nickname. And other people were like, no, it's bullying. I'm in the middle. I think that enough is enough. Manny MUA has not been allowed to breathe the same air as Jeffree Star in many people's perspective for quite some time, like a year and a half, 2 years. And I think, honestly, Manny's dad, with Manny being a grown man, should he have stuck his nose in? Probably not. But at the same time, as a parent, I completely see, because somebody had to do it. Someone had to say it. This isn't just like, oh, yeah, it's so fun. This is like, you're not friends with Jeffree Star anymore, so we're going to act like it's our job to run you in the ground constantly. But I plan on making another video to address that. That'll be like a separate part of all this because it's going to take a few parts. But I digress. Shocker. Yeah, I know. But here's where it gets really messy. So Nick Snyder decides to jump in and, to be fair, defend himself too, because he was part of the video that Manning's dad was referring to. But he goes and tells Manning's dad, well, like a subtweet, don't talk about bullying when you're a, quote, reformed, end quote, homophobe. And listen, I like Nick. I do. Like, I don't have a problem with Nick personally. But first of all, the quotations, you knew that was disrespectful. You knew what you were doing. You knew you were trying to imply that he's still a homophobe, or just rubbing his face that he was at one time a homophobe. In my opinion, struggling with your own child's sexual identity is a very different thing from bullying people. I don't think that he was going around gay bashing. And to be totally fair to the man, not only has he changed his mindset about Manny and like felt remorse for it and has cried and felt guilt for it, he's also speaking out to other people in the Hispanic community or just parents in general. So we're not going to act like that wasn't like intentionally catty, intentionally shady. You were trying to hurt that man's feelings. So then here comes poor Manny defending his dad. So he tweets back to Nick, basically saying like, this is sad. My dad's made a lot of changes. This is low even for you. Blah, 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 blah. And then, honey, right or wrong, here comes poor Luscious. Basically, then he replies, and I'll be honest, inserts himself, saying, do not engage, don't give in to this bully. He just wants to get a rousing a reaction from you, and so he can make a video about you. So now, honey, Twitter's on fire. Tweets are flying. Egos are all blown up out of whack. Stands are standing. Friends are cucking and white knighting for each other. It's crazy. So then Nick makes an apology video, and that's where I would probably put some quotes, but he didn't even name it apology. I think he said, I really messed up. So he comes on, and but the only thing he like kind of apologizes for is using the quotes. And I could be wrong, but I think he even tried to act like he didn't mean the quotes as an insult. He just like didn't realize he put them there. It's just something he does to be funny or whatever. So he doesn't really apologize for much of anything. He stands by like thinking that the dad was a homophobe, so he should be equated to a bully, which, to be fair, if we know about some history of Manny's dad, like committing hate crimes against gay people, then yeah, that would stand. But all he did was struggle with his own son's identity, and call that what you will. But anyway, then he comes for Luscious, basically telling Luscious, like, and Luscious, don't act like you're holier than thou because you used to make drama videos with Rich, so you were a bully too. And then here comes Luscious making his video. He says, Nick Snyder is my bully. Now, I don't know if that's the truth or not. I'm not really on Twitter like that. I do know that over the summer there was like some shadiness between Rich's new friends, like shading Luscious for like not telling him happy birthday or whatever. But everybody who paid attention knew there was some tension there. So it was almost like, why should Luscious go tell him something if they're not friends? Like, whatever. But basically, Luscious says in this video, like, yeah, I know I was a bully. That's why I don't do that anymore. And to be fair, in Luscious's defense, he did make a video a few months ago saying, like, you know, him and Rich are still friends. They're just keeping their friendship off of social media. And Luscious does say in that video that he didn't want to be associated with drama anymore. So that I'll give him. It is important to note, though, in this first video Luscious made, he was very respectful to Rich. He didn't even bring Rich into it. He was almost kind of like still speaking very protectively of and about Rich. So what came next was crazy. And here is where I think the shit hit the fan, because Nick addressed Luscious. Luscious addressed Nick, and he was very, like I said, very careful not to pull Rich into it. So this is my opinion, but this is where Rich fucked up, because he comes on and defends Nick. Like the video he makes is like bashing Luscious as saying he wasn't a good friend and defending Nick. Me personally, I don't know if it's just like the kind of loyalty that I have. If I have two friends, even if one is like a former friend, I'm not, if they have beef, I'm going to try to be the diplomat, or I'm staying out of it. That's between them two. Like Rich just basically showed that he was taking sides, and he's only known Nick for a few months. His friendship with Luscious was like 10 plus years. Again, none of my business. I don't know all the details of that, but I'm just saying that looks really bad. So as you can imagine, now emotions are flying. And so are the gloves, honey, because Luscious done threw them off. He done pulled his earrings out. No, but here comes Luscious, and he's like, broke your heart. Bitch, what heart? So now Luscious is very emotional. I will admit, like now he's emotional. He's doing and saying things he will not be able to take back. The saddest part of this whole thing is this is all something between Rich and Lux that should have been handled privately. They had a real friendship. They don't have a, oh, we just met in person in April and we knew each other on YouTube before that. And no disrespect to Rich and Nick's friendship. I'm not saying it's not genuine. But Rich and Lux were like family for years. So Lush comes back, and like I said, the gloves are off. He starts exposing Rich for all kind of stuff, like basically like personality traits. But then at the end, he's like, oh, and you wonder why I didn't defend you for when people were calling you a racist. It's because I can't say you aren't a racist. So now he shows some old texts with Rich using the N word, I think with the A and the ER. So now it's just a hot ass mess, like the whole thing. And again, let's just cannot take this back. It looks all kinds of messy. It's just a freaking mess. And I, again, feel really bad for both of them because I like both of them a lot. And it's sad because now it's just become a huge display. So now Rich puts up a video that he titles Manny MUA Comes For Me. And I guess this is his way of like doing an apology without all the crying and stuff that he had been accused of doing before. And let me say this, Rich, I have loved you for so long. Like, if you knew how sick the people in my life are of hearing about you, because I'm always like, oh my God, do you watch Rich? Like, you need to. He's from Houston. He's from here. Like, we got to support hometown boy, like all this stuff, right? Here's where you messed up even bigger. Let me say this, the racist tweets, that, look, that, I'm glad I'm not the judge or the jury on that because that's just a mess. It's a horrible look. If you did that, it's terrible. No matter how many years ago it was, because the way you came on and were real dismissive of it, like trying to act like it was a fake receipt, and then like kind of mentioning like, oh well, people are just trying to take me down. Honey, listen, you need to look that shit in the eye and tackle it. And the last time you made your apology, because now that you're complaining that oh well, just keep having to apologize for the same stuff over and over and over. Because let me tell you one thing, if there's one thing I stay caught up on, it's all this crap. Because I have been following you religiously almost for 2 years or more. So this is the first time I saw those receipts. So don't act like you already apologized. First, you try to act like it was fake. Then you're like, oh, it's old. And then you come with that second apology, and I'm sorry, Rich, again, love you, but I don't have to, you know what? I don't know, explanations. You said some nasty, ratchet, racist, disgusting things. You need to find your way out of this. And if you're tired of apologizing because you're like, oh, I have to apologize like 4 times, this is your first time addressing this one. The last one with the video, that was iffy till I watched somebody else's view of it. You said the N word. So here's what you should do going forward. Make a real apology if you mean it, if you need to, and just be like, hey, listen, I don't know how many times I said that. Apparently, I used to go around throwing racial slurs like they were some fucking frisbees. So something else might come out, but let me tell you who I am today, and then let's move forward from there. Because this mess of like, oh crap, something else new comes up, and like, oh, they just trying to take me down. Rich, I love you, but that is bullshit. You are not owning your stuff. You are not taking accountability. You're trying to make it look like there's some fucking conspiracy theory to take you down. Do I think you're a racist person? Absolutely not. But I think you did some stupid bullshit and you just don't want to own up to it because you have assisted in the canceling of other people for making the same stupid mistakes years ago. But you ran with the mob mentality. Everybody was canceled and boy, you were reporting on it left and right. And now that it's you, it's no, this is conspiracy. This is they came from Area 51 with them fake receipts. But I'm gonna end this one here now, guys. Those were just some of my thoughts on all this. The summarization, the summary of this is that it's a very sad situation. Should have been handled in private. You got people sticking their nose in that it's really none of their business between Lush and Rich. Y'all got caught being catty by Manny's dad, and then this looks like it'd been brewing for a long time, and then now this started. But do not anybody who watches this take it that I don't like Rich Lux or Nick Schneider. I love Luscious. I love all of them. I even like Jeffree Star, but I also like Manny MUA, and I'm tired of it not being a community anymore. Part 2 will be coming, and it's going to go further into the whole community. Good night.